Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to our East Rutherford Thursday RMFantasy SXperts show. Hey, big announcement. Marvin Musquin is going to be calling in here in just a couple minutes.
Waste no time.
Yeah.
Any minute.
I think he's got a plane to catch or he's got somewhere to be, but he's going to make it happen, so he's calling in. So if you have questions for Marv, leave them in the chat. Yeah. Kobe and I have some questions, but if you guys have anything specific you want to ask him, make sure to comment that down below. But yeah, we're headed to East Rutherford. Dude, I don't think people are, or maybe I'm just wasn't analyzing this enough, but Sexton's only 9 points behind Cooper Webb.
Yeah.
And then Webb's only 6 back from Tomac. We have a 3-way battle right now for this championship.
And if I had to guess, it's only going to get tighter after this weekend.
Well, look, here's the deal. I mean, if Sexton, going into Atlanta, I don't think Webb or Tomac were that concerned about Sexton.
I don't think so either.
Post-Atlanta, you betcha.
Sexton
Webb
alone, but once Rox and once Barsha, they get involved too, they really shook things up, and it's probably going to keep on happening.
Do you want to hear my prediction?
Yeah.
Sexton takes second place overall from Cooper Webb.
You mean in the championship?
In the championship.
Yeah, not just this weekend. You mean, wow.
And we'll go over some stats and everything, but I don't know. How do you guys feel? How do you feel about that?
I would love to have some more banter about it, but I have to agree with you. We've been just waiting for Sexton to have that moment where he leads wire to wire and just gains the confidence. He wasn't lacking the speed. It was just the confidence, and he feels like he's checked that box. And
think about it.
I would be nervous if I was the rest of the field.
And Glendale, Tomac wins, Webb gets fourth, right? Mm-hmm. 7-point gap. If that were to happen this weekend between Sexton and Webb, it's a 2-point gap between the two. And it's not unrealistic, I think, at this point for Tomac or Coop to get a fourth place with how good Barsha and these other dudes are riding right now.
Oh, definitely. Barsha, Roxon, we kind of did the math breakdown. We did a very rough math breakdown last time, but they're out of championship contention. They're still battling for a solid fourth place.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the top three, they could shake it up. This is 4 more rounds, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, so still 4 rounds is a lot of racing. They don't drop their 2 worst results like we get to do in fantasy, so it's all on the line.
What was the race where how many points did Sexton get docked when he jumped on that red cross flag?
Oh, I forget now. It was a good jump.
Somebody remind me, please.
He would have been in second.
But he lost like 7 points or something like that.
Or he would have been
He would have been basically almost tied with Webb right now going his last race.
We talked about that the weekend that happened, and he got penalized. Like, if it did the end of the season came around and he
could add
those points and he would have won the championship or second place, that could
brutal.
What a bummer.
Well, hey, with that being said, let's move on to our weekly prizes that are up for grabs right now. Levi, don't be afraid to talk into that mic, dude. Levi's throwing up hand signals over here, and I don't know what's going on.
I know we got our French friend calling in, but he's just miming behind the.
All right, so first place this week. Look at that Formula CC Rush helmet. That's a good looking helmet right there.
It is. Hey, isn't that what this is, or is this the CP? Sorry.
That one.
Is this the CC?
Oh gosh, does the back have it on? I can't.
I just shout out to Fly since we're bringing them up. Their colorways.
Yeah.
I know this isn't everybody's favorite, but I love this Lightning McQueen.
That one, I think that's a CC.
I think so. I think that's the helmet that they would win.
But anyway, so we're giving out that helmet, plus in a Cherry spending spree. We got a 9800 rig gear back from OGO. O'Neill's doing a full gear giveaway. Bridgestone tires, Fox with a gear bag. SC4 composite MIPS helmet from TLD. It's the same shell and almost the same helmet that Barsha and those guys are wearing. It's rock solid. And then we have Rhino Power Pack, Works Connection whole shot device and tack hour meter, and then Torque One Racing lock-on MX grips and some levers.
You can't lose. Well, you can if you're outside the top.
Oh, and we're doing the 90 Rocky Mountain gift cards.
Yep. Don't forget that. Dude, you are up there in points.
Am I smoking you?
But how about grand prizes? Before we move on from prizes, we got to remind them. Because this is crunch time. 2 lowest scores will be dropped, and I'm curious to see because that always shakes things up. But, factory or equivalent of a factory edition, might as well be. But race prepped KTM 450 SX for the winner. We got the 2 Smoke. And these bikes, they're incredible. We
walk past them every day.
We walk past them every day, and just these new KTMs, they're practically flawless bikes. And new for this year, that E5. which is sweet. So 3 motorcycles being given away this year.
Hey, how many points do you have? I'm at 673. That's right. I gapped you.
632, dude. I got
like a 40-point lead or 30. Okay, I like that.
But yeah, come the end of the show when we make our picks, I've got to do something. I got to switch things up.
You're a little desperado right now, dude.
Yeah,
that's all right.
I don't want to eat that hot peanut. I'm good.
Well, hey, with that being said, we've got him on the line right now. This man's name is Marvin Musquin. He is a multi-race winner, championship winner,
Monster Cup
winner. He is. This man won $1 million in one night. His name is Marvin Musquin. He is a new dad too.
Yeah, busy, I'm sure.
Marvin Musquin, how are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, not too bad. Weather is finally better in California, so I mean, can't complain. Besides, I'm not riding, so there's good things and bad things, and also, like you mentioned, new dad, so enjoying a lot of time with the baby.
Are you still wearing? Do you still have your brace on that I saw at the KTM new building intro?
Well, actually, now it's off because it's been 3 months on the 18th, so 2 days ago or yesterday. So that's a good news. But now here comes obviously the rehab and getting stronger with the ligaments and muscles, and see what we can do in the near future.
So with the wrist injury, obviously you missed the season. Is there a chance you try and do some of the outdoor nationals just because you haven't got to race this year? Kind of what are your plans moving on with the future?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Obviously, my contract was just like last year, was a Supercross deal only. So that means no outdoors. So far, it looks like, yeah, I won't be able to come back for any of the Supercross, even though it was my goal. By the time I get back on the bike and back up to in shape and speed, the championship will be over. There's only 4 rounds to go. So unfortunately, that would be impossible. But then the outdoors, I have no idea yet. So, but like I said, no, I have no contract right now with KTM for the outdoors and the rest of the season. So a little bit of unknown right now for me. But my goal right now is to get back to where my wrist feels close to 100% and back on the bike.
Do you want to continue racing? Like for 2024, is the goal to sign a contract to race, possibly just Supercross again?
Well, yeah, that's the question. Obviously, it's been the last 2 years was definitely the questions, and 2022 was a decent season. I was able to grab 5 podiums and a win. So, yeah, that was the goal was achieved. Definitely, I got 4th in the championship, so it was pretty good. And then this year, got ready for a new season. Unfortunately, I got hurt, so that really that was definitely not the goal and not the season I was looking forward to it. But it is what it is. I got injured in the past, but this one's tough, especially at this stage of my career. So definitely don't know. I want to get back on the bike and see how I feel, and then I make a decision if I want to continue or not.
Quick question, and then Kobe actually has a question about the MXGPs and a question there. But at your stage, obviously tail end of your career, do you still do you still, on days like today maybe, you're like, man, I want to ride my dirt bike just because it's fun? Do you still get that enjoyment out of riding your dirt bike? I know some of these guys, it's your job. We all understand that. And I'm sure when you're on that day-to-day grind, especially at the Baker factory, it's probably a little bit more tedious at that point. But do you still have those days where you just wish you could just hop on a dirt bike just because you love to ride it?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I've said basically my whole life is I want to continue riding and for fun or whatever it is. If it's some, testing for the team or racing or anything, for sure I like riding. Yes, getting to that point, I'm 33 years old. I've raced professional for over 14 years and 12 years here in America. But yeah, I do. There is days, obviously, like you mentioned, when you're out practicing and it's tough and you got to do the laps. So those are the tough days. But and obviously in the career, you don't have a lot of time to just go out and ride without a program or just
Right.
for fun. So now, yeah, I do think about it, and I want to be able to ride for the rest of my life, basically, and just enjoy it. This past winter, I was able to get on some two strokes, like a 125 and a 250. I actually have two brand new bikes in the garage that I haven't ridden because I got hurt. So I can't wait to get back at it and ride again. So yeah, I do think about it, and that's what I want to do for sure for the rest of my life, is ride the dirt bike.
Nice.
Love it. You've been with KTM practically forever, and it was awesome to see on those two strokes. But Marv, I was curious, being with one brand for this long, is there a certain year or edition of the bike that you could set apart as your favorite, or do you think they've just over time every year is better, or is it one of your favorites further back maybe?
Definitely my favorite year was 2015. That was my very last year on the 250 on the light bikes, and I remember being teammate of Ryan Dungey, and I would go out and win the main event, and then Dungey will go out and win the 450 main event, and we're all celebrating, and it was just like a really good atmosphere in the team. Obviously, riding a 250 and having Ryan on the 450, there was like we would help each other. So it was definitely a good year. That was my first year in Florida, Albans, and it's really different when you can have someone to like help like chase each other, but like at the end you're not a competitor because you ride different class. So that was definitely a good year. I've had great years on a 450 as well, but definitely a year to remember was 15, winning the Supercross championship, and then winning the Motocross of Nations at the end of the year in France. So definitely my favorite year.
Oh, that's right, Motocross of Nations, man. One of my best memories of Marv is when I want to say it was either Millville or High Point, but Tomac was ahead of you, and he was trying to catch, I think, Kenny or somebody. And then old Marv is just back there just putting in his laps and ends up passing both of them and taking the win. It was just one of those unexpected rides. And something, Marv, that I always admired about you is your build compared to some of the other riders. You look at you and you think, man, like, how does he ride a 450? But I think you are so, like, your style, I think you've been one of those guys that proves, like, it's how you ride the motorcycle that makes such a difference. Like, your finesse, the lines that you find. In fact, I watched this Supercross clip of him just today, and he did this line where he jumped and purposely jumped off the rhythm lane so he could have a better angle coming in this 90-degree turn. So I don't know, Marv, your technique and style blows me away, because when you watch him ride compared to a Tomac or a Justin Barcia, it's so much different. And you wonder how, how such different techniques can somehow at the checkered flag on a sprint lap be so close. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when I wanted to talk to you about that, Marv, with technique. We have the topic of conversation with the fastest rider on the planet has been up for debate for a long time, or maybe people don't really think it's a debate and they have their answer. But from your perspective, do you think Supercross should be included in that conversation? I mean, mainly the two people that are usually referred to are Hurlings versus Tomac, and we saw Hurlings come over here and he really put the smack down in Indiana. But from your perspective, do you think that Supercross should be included in that conversation?
I would say no, because I know, every outdoor track are different, and also Supercross are different. But I don't know how to say that, but like I would say outdoors, because like Supercross, it's always like a new track, I would say, especially like racing. But like outdoors, you would go back to the same tracks. You mentioned Millville. Like if you go back to Europe, like those guys, they have like the same track that they go back to. So, But anyway, I think when you talk about the fastest guy on a motorcycle, I think you picture an outdoor track. Like a rough outdoor, like Sandy, or like a Millville, like a Southwick. That's where you can see, or where you can, see the fastest guy, like showing you how fast he can go. That's more than Supercross. That definitely Supercross is a lot different. So So no, you can't mention Supercross like that, I think.
Fair enough.
Okay, so just outdoors.
Yeah. Do you think if Hurlings wanted to, somebody like Hurlings, I should say, do you think if he focused on it enough that he would be competitive in a discipline like Supercross, though?
I mean, we saw Tim
probably, but
it's tough.
It is tough.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but not right now anymore. Maybe a few years back, maybe, but not anymore because, I mean, probably, but does he really want to? No, I don't think so. So it would definitely, if you wanna battle between like Tomac and Hurlings, that would definitely be on the outdoor track.
For sure. Yeah, I think ultimately if they were ever going to do it again, that's where we're going to find them. I've always been curious for a guy like Hurlings if he has the finesse and the timing that's required for Supercross, because he's just such an aggressive racer. I've always wondered if he could transition into a different riding style.
He did come over and rode some Supercross at the KTM track. I remember that was actually a while back. And I'm sure he could have, maybe do some races, but that was like a long time ago. And I don't think now he would do it, or I don't even know. And I bet you he doesn't want to. So Hurlings, when you think about Hurlings, it's definitely motocross and all this speed, and that's what he enjoyed too, is more like outdoors, high speed stuff.
Do you think Tom Vial, are you pretty close with him?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. We didn't grow up together, but we know each other a little bit, and especially since he moved to America, we don't get to spend a lot of time together. But every time we see each other, we definitely talk, and I really like Tom and his family.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with his rookie year. Obviously, it's a big learning curve. Your first year in Supercross, we all know that. You know, he came out swinging, and I honestly feel like give him kind of like Hunter Lawrence. You know, give him a few years to figure this thing out, and I absolutely think Tom Vial is going to be battling for titles. Do you think the same learning curve will apply to motocross this summer? Or since he's been racing MXGPs for so long, outdoors just comes more naturally to him? Or do you feel like there's a learning curve, because you've experienced this too, coming over to America? Is there a learning curve for motocross just like there is for Supercross?
I would say no, because he's ridden a lot of outdoors over in GPs, but moving to America, yes, there is some learning. There is only one day of racing. You have like 2 very short practices in the morning, and then you jump into the motos right away. So that's such a short day for a European rider that used to be a MXGP and ride for like 2 days and a qualifying race and all that. So, but now he's getting obviously more used to that schedule with Supercross. So that will help to do the transition into outdoors. But what you mentioned about Tom on his first year in Supercross, I mean, that was only a little bit maybe over 3 months of him riding Supercross at the practice track, so no racing, and then he jumped into racing. So Tom could have decided, with the team or whatever, his family, to like practice Supercross but not race, and then move into outdoors. But he came over, and his goal is, to win here as soon as obviously possible. So he decided to race outdoors. So I have a lot of respect for that. Race Supercross. I have a lot of respect for that, and he's learning a lot. He had obviously some crashes, but he never showed like overriding or getting frustrated. Like, you can see in his riding style that he's very patient, and he's done some good things. And other tracks are really tough for him. He was actually trying to learn instead of rushing it and doing anything stupid. Like I mentioned, yes, he had some crashes, but he didn't crash because he was rushing it or doing anything stupid.
Sure.
So it's good to see that.
Awesome. Hey, what are your thoughts on this championship battle right now? So Kobe and I were talking about it just before you came on, and so let's go back to Atlanta, right? Tomac and Webb have a pretty good cushion over Sexton. Tomac's got a 7-point lead. They go 4 and 5. But now Sexton, who wins, he's only 9 points back of Coop. So at this point in Atlanta, I personally don't feel like Cooper Webb was really necessarily worried about Sexton. But now that Sexton just did that, he does that again, and it's a 2-point gap. So do you think Webb now it has to be much more concerned with Chase Sexton, going in these last 4 rounds?
I mean, you're completely right. I feel like everybody in the industry right now watching the championship was like, oh, Tomac and Webb.
Yeah.
And then, like you mentioned, they go 4-5, and then Sexton wins, and you're like, oh, he's not too far back. So if that happens like one more time or 2 more times, then it's going to get very, very tight and interesting. So definitely it looks like Tomac is worried about Webb, obviously, and then
Sure.
Webb is worried about Tomac. But after this weekend, they got to think about Sexton, because if Sexton goes and win the last 4 rounds, like, they better be second or third every single time. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I believe, yeah, this weekend they were battling together. This track, I don't know if it was the track, but nothing really happened besides Barcia getting into second, and then Webb and Tomac, they were together, but nothing really happened. So that was a really weird race. But yeah, we're going back into stadium racing this weekend. So it's going to be really, really tight racing, that's for sure.
I feel like it's like in Atlanta, I think it was Webb and Tomac were just like, I only need to beat those, like that guy. But now from here on out, it's like, no, you need to win. Mm-hmm. You can't take a third place. Like from this point out, for Sexton, Tomac, Webb, the only way that you can guarantee yourself or ensure that you can win this title is like you have to win.
Definitely.
So I'm excited for it. It's going to be good.
No, we're all lucky as spectators. Yeah. Marv, more about you though. I mean, we're just curious. What's your schedule like, your day-to-day when you're out riding for this long? I mean, are you still trying to make efforts on a daily basis to stay mentally prepared for like a racing mindset? Obviously, you're limited physically, but what's your day-to-day looking like when you have these injuries?
Dad life.
I'm sure that's plenty busy.
Yeah, that too. So yeah, I drive to Dr. G's office and getting treatment on the wrist, trying to get rid of obviously inflammation. It's a lot better, but the first few weeks and month was the main goal. So I was getting x-rays obviously after a month, after 2 months, to make sure the scaphoid was not getting worse or anything. So yeah, my routine was like, getting up, and it depends when my daughter was waking up. But yeah, me and my wife would take care of it, and I would do some cardio in the morning, and I would head out to Dr. G's office, and then came back around lunchtime, and enjoying some time in the afternoon, and going out on dinner. Last weekend went to Austin MotoGP, so
I saw that.
That was amazing.
Sure.
We went to a couple races. We drove to Phoenix Supercross. We went to Dallas Supercross a few weeks ago. So
are you going to come out for Salt Lake?
Salt Lake. I'd like to go to at least 1 or 2 before the end.
Okay.
Of Supercross. So hopefully next week I can start doing some mountain biking, and maybe soon getting back on the bike.
Just in time as far as weather goes. We're jealous. It looks nice there in Cali.
Yeah.
I do. So when it comes to, I want to bring up Monster Energy Cup, and one, I just want to know, Marv, do you miss that? Do you think they should still try and do something similar?
He misses that $1 million paycheck.
Yeah, he missed the $1 million paycheck. But going back to your night specifically, did you have a feeling, like, did you just have any sort of inkling that you were going to walk away with the $1 million, or was that kind of just a surprise moment?
No. I mean, it was a totally surprise. Every year I was racing Monster Cup. I mean, mainly the one time I won, my goal was to go out and be consistent for the 3 main, and then go out and win, and it's still like $100,000. So I didn't even think about the $1 million, really. So
when he thought about it
there,
though? Go ahead.
I mean, I go out and battle with Tomac in the first moto, and I remember it was slippery. They put some water down, and that also what caused Tomac's crash. But we were battling. I think we passed each other once or twice. And I was into the lead, and then Tomac crashed, and I go out and won the first main event. So then you're like, oh, if you win the first one, that means you're the only one who can win the million if you win all three. So that's where things get a little, tense. And but at the same time, I was like, it's okay. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just go out there and try to be consistent and get the overall, right? And then I go out there, second moto, I got the whole shot and I win the second moto. So I'm like, oh, here it goes, because obviously I've been watching the years back where Vito Poto was winning. So when you watch, I was probably racing, but still, like when you watch those races afterwards, you like, man, the pressure. And then that year, that was me. So I go on the line and I knew they would come up for the last moto on the line to interview me on the line just to make sure it put more pressure on myself, on the fans and all that. So I was like, damn it, I knew it, And then I was like standing on the line. I'm like, you know what? Just execute, just do the start. And that was the medal start. That was like a big drop.
Yeah.
Into the, not the massive one they built one year, but it was like still like a pretty big drop with like a massive G out. And dude, the last moto, I just killed the start, and I was actually like leading off the start by actually pretty far. So, and then it's crazy how my focus was just like unbelievable. I was still in the bubble, I would say, so focused, and I feel like nothing could have happened to me. It was just unreal. Just the day was just perfect. And Anderson was second, I think the second moto, and even the third moto, he was behind me, but I was like maybe like 4 to 5 second gap, and it would like stay like that, and it's like 10 laps, so you're like, okay, like 7 to go, 6 to go, 5 to go, and then you just execute lap after lap, and yeah, I have goosebumps just talking about it. So and I go out there and it was just like a dream. I was like, this is not real. So I definitely enjoyed the celebration with the team, the fans. It was just my brother-in-law was there. Unreal.
I can only imagine.
He was so excited he didn't even do a heel clicker.
Yeah,
he forgot about the priorities. He did? You did a heel clicker?
Yeah, you have to.
I think all three motos, I think I did.
Back to back.
It was right before he did the heel clicker. It was a jump before where he was like freaking out in the air because he couldn't believe what just happened.
A memorable night without a doubt. We have some of our viewers in our chat, and I also wanted to know too, would you consider that the highlight of your career? Or I imagine that you have quite a few memorable moments, and there might be a few others. What's the highlight of your career that you can think of?
I'm lucky to say that I have a lot of highlights moment of my life, so of my career. So I would say, this one is really, really high. We mentioned Motocross of Nations, racing with, number 1, 2, and 3 with the team in France. And winning, so that was just,
that's cool.
That was also a perfect day. So that was, I always say Motocross of Nations was, the best memory, just because of the crowd and the whole day, the atmosphere, everything was just unreal that day. So I would rank, Motocross of Nations first, but then I have my first ever 450 win in Supercross in Dallas. In 17, so that was really, really high because I never thought I would one day win a 450 main event. I remember signing my 450 contract in 2016, and looking at my contract and the bonuses of first, second, and third, and I'm like, man, if one day I can get a podium, that would be crazy. So getting a win in Dallas that 1 year in 17 was amazing. So I would say those three. Winning the Supercross Championship on the 250 in New York in 2015. That's Motocross of Nations, Monster Cup, my first 450 win Supercross, and then the championship in 250. That's top 4.
Yeah,
awesome.
You have quite the resume. I want to ask one more. We were doing the European versus American comparison, I guess, with Hurlings and Tomac a little bit earlier, but I want to hear your comparison when it comes to the fans and around the track, and I'm sure Motocross of Nations doesn't matter where you are. Like, yeah, you're not going to compare to that, but just at an overall, like at your average weekend moto, I mean, who wins there? Because you got chainsaws, you got all sorts of stuff going on over in Europe. So who's got the crazier fan base?
I would say Europe.
Really?
Definitely. I mean, even though, Red Bud Motocross of Nations was pretty good, and every year at Red Bud is very special. But I feel like it's getting better and better in America, though. Maybe they're learning from the Europeans, but definitely getting better. But I just love like the horn, in Europe. Like they have a lot of those. They build. It's like homemade, whatever chainsaw or whatever with the engine or like the horn, whatever you call it. It's just those things are crazy. So those guys will like build themselves stuff like that and bring it to the races. So any GPs you want to go, like Italy or France or Belgium, England, Spain, all those GPs, if you want to go one day, those would be really, really good.
I would agree with you there. It's the air horns. That's what I was forgetting. They have the chainsaws, right? But the air horns. Even I've been lucky enough to travel to some enduros and racing in enduro even over in Europe, and it's no different for those events too. They're just lining the sides with air horns, and it's I think we as Americans, we can take notes as a fan base, and
can you take something like that into a motocross race? A chainsaw? I don't know if you can get those in.
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Marv, we know you're a busy guy, and I can't remember what you said you got going on, but you got to be somewhere, so we're going to wrap this thing up. We're here for fantasy, right? It's a big deal, over 100,000 players, and so we gotta know if you're going into this weekend with the battle going on.
I was going to say, don't ask me, please.
try and leave the KTM bias aside here if you can, but give us your top 3. Now, last time you raced East Rutherford, we're going to watch the highlights here after you're gone. It was a bad night for you. You're on the ground getting ran over in the start. But give us your top 3 for this weekend with this battle that's going on right now.
I mean, let's say Sexton, Tomac, Webb.
Ooh, okay.
So Sexton topping it
just
again.
Tightening that points gap up. I just want to see a 3-way battle. I want it where Salt Lake City, I want those 3 guys to drop the main event gate, and I want there to be winner takes all. Could you imagine?
Like whoever finish ahead of the other guy wins.
Yep, exactly. That's the dream scenario for us as fans. I'm sure the racers would never want that in a million years, but that's what we all want. So
definitely.
Anyway, Marv, we appreciate taking the time to do this. Thank you so much. Best of luck with everything that you have going on. Glad to hear the wrist recovery is going well. Hopefully we'll see you back on the bike soon. Dad life, I've got a 2.5-month-old right now, so I feel you on the sleep thing. I can relate to that. So, but hey, it only gets better with this second, though. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Yeah, right.
All right, man.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming in. Best of luck. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Marv.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Woo!
Oh,
that was fun.
Such a good dude.
Such a good dude. The classic.
It was.
Dude, you're getting called out for your ending your phone call catchphrase. You're a busy guy. I know. You got a lot of things going on.
That's true. I do say that, huh?
But, dude, I don't blame you. We appreciate his time.
Well, he literally did have somewhere to be.
I know. I'm sure he appreciates
That's why we did the call so early this time.
We all appreciate his time. There was some good topics.
He said he had to leave his house at 11:30. We took him 3 minutes over.
Hey, we appreciate every single second. So, anyway,
bummed
to not see him lining up this year because, unfortunately, I mean, I'm not gonna make. He could have plenty more years of riding and racing, but he's 33. They do tend to start to wrap up the careers at that point.
He's just one of those guys that can mix it up, right? I mean, we're missing Malcolm Stewart. Now we have Craig and Marv, Ferrandis. So it's just tough to not see those guys. Speaking of Ferrandis, man, when's he going to bounce back? I miss that guy.
That's true. Memes coming with Aquatic gone for the Marv show. It's true.
Dude, Aquatic,
it's very, very true. Like, waited his entire life for that moment right there.
And he missed it.
People think that Marv is actually aquatic. So.
Very good chance.
Oh, maybe
Could
he
be
is.
a Batman situation.
Marv is. We didn't bring this up, but he is a king of Red Bull Straight Rhythm. Yeah, I don't think he's ever lost a race. Like, he is undefeated.
The guy, he clicked
since
into Supercross
he's been doing it
very, very easily.
Yeah.
Christian's in the chat. He's talking about a Red Bull guy winning the Monster Million. Dude, that's just
Monster's worst nightmare.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, look, we left off. We had done grand prizes.
That's about it. We didn't get into much. How about you mentioned the highlights from the last time we raced there, and Marv was on the ground. Should we take a look at that? Should we look at what this track looks like? Well, it's been a minute since we've raced
Just
here.
what the dirt looks like, what it raced
what
like.
The track kind of develops into. Roll the clip.
Roll tape.
Red Plate Webb.
Yeah, this was his 21. This is the second title he won.
Yep, good start. Got Marv right there behind him.
Yeah. Well,
you got Osborne. You got a bunch of. The last time we raced here, the field looks so different.
Marv was right there behind him.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. The field was quite different.
Ooh.
Oh,
and there's Marv getting enduro crossed.
Yeah. Wah, wah. Hey, he's up. Adam, he was okay.
Yep.
Hey, this looks very familiar.
Yeah. Do you remember this race, though? You'll remember it here in just a second.
It might take me a moment.
Everyone's going to remember what happened.
Oh, no.
Holy rear wheel steering.
I'm focused. Oh.
Just wait, though.
I'm waiting.
Man.
Where's Savachi, man? I want to see him in this.
Why is Savachi not on a freaking factory bike is what I want to know. How did that guy not?
That's a very good question.
It's a bummer. Okay.
Okay.
We're here. We've arrived. This is what everyone's going to remember.
Oh. Okay. Because you don't see that very often.
No.
You don't see that.
But here was the funny part, though.
Oh, I forget.
Hold on. We're not done yet. Osborne, dude. I forgot about him.
We need to get him on here. He's racing GNCCs now.
Yeah. But he hasn't raced yet. He's been hurt.
Yep. No, he's raced some Enduros, I think.
Oh, has he?
Some of the Sprint
Enduros?
The Sprint Enduro series. Boop. Webb snuck through that pretty clean. Like, he got kind of lucky.
But look, here's the thing.
We got quite the mix-up, the shake-up. What am I waiting for here, dude?
Just hold on. Hold on. Sorry, it's longer than I thought it was going to be. But Tomac came back, gets back by Webb.
Oh, from going down.
Yeah, after he went down, passed Webb again, and then did this again.
The same exact thing?
Do you remember that? He did the same thing twice.
Literally in the same exact spot?
Yep.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Anyway,
I'm not an SXpert, apparently.
The track is what I'm looking at here. It's loose, it's soft, it's bermy, it's got some ruts. So, yeah, it gives you an idea of what the East Rutherford dirt track is going to shape up to be. Throw the track map up there, Levi. What do we got here?
Hold on. Just wait for it.
It's strange we already did the call with Marv.
I know.
I'm like, feel all off now. Anyway.
Long, sweeping start straight.
Dude.
Tomac City.
I'm just saying, last week in his heat, he overshot a little bit, but he had the jump. Didn't get the greatest start in the main.
So you and I talked about this, though. There was, maybe it was on the show, maybe it was off the show. I think one of the differences for last week was the hairpin versus we're going back to these sweeping starts,
180,
which should help if he's just rocketing like he did.
If Tomac does what he did last week in the heat,
I don't think Barcia has as
shots.
easy of a time. Yeah, getting in front of him and cutting his line off. So if Tomac can just keep the jump there, which he should, this should cater to.
I hope so, but we'll see. Could be anybody's track. But anyway, it looks like a cool racetrack. I mean, every time I say that.
What are some other notes? I know. It's so hard to tell how.
Other notes, you got a whoop section coming out of a bowl turn. So these whoops, you saw it last time. They were jumping right through them. So they're going to break down. They're going to get nasty, probably become jumpers again. Nothing else really that stood out to me too much.
Yeah, there's often what I'm looking for at track maps is bowl turn count, and the rhythm leading into it to kind of see if there's just
you got
that's where 1,
two,
Supercross
3, you got 4
where a lot of passes are
5.
made.
I count 5 bowl turns.
But honestly, there's been plenty of times where I'm completely wrong and the passing opportunities show up elsewhere.
I think it looks good though. I'm excited for it.
No,
and I think this will be a track though that can jump up and bite you. Just when you get that hard packed base with loose soil on top.
You know who's notorious for getting bit? Sexton.
I refuse to say it because I'm going to pick him to win this weekend.
All right, good.
All right, so there's your track.
As far as like dirt, I just want one more note. Yeah, it's no like Salt Lake. It's not like just going to completely fall apart, dusty. You know, the track. It looks like a
Salt Lake's track last year was pretty good, dude. I think everyone just remembers that one COVID race, the first one that they had.
It does just.
It was a dust bowl.
Its reputation.
But looking at the weather, though, the forecast is going to be like 70. No, it looks nice.
Big Chill says there's rain.
Big Chill, chill out.
Oh. Okay. How about some
the Sexton
rider
catch
stats, huh?
Yeah, let's do it.
Should we just go into
Let's get into it.
To what we got.
Okay, let's start with Tomac, I guess. So, look, long start straight we just talked about. I feel like this track could cater to him. He's won 7 of 13 races this year. So his record in East Rutherford is 3.82. He's got the best average start, 3.4, just a little bit ahead of Sexton. So I don't know, man. It's the start.
Yeah. No, it's huge. It's really for any of these top contenders we're going to bring up. It really comes down to their start because I truly think, and even Roxon could be a part of this, but especially Tomac, Barcia, Sexton, Webb, they get a good start. Any of them can just walk away with it.
But here's the difference, though, is you heard Coop and Eli talk last week about how Coop was like, well, I knew Tomac was behind me, so I was whatever, you know? And then Tomac's like, well, could have been worse, but at least Coop only finished 1 spot ahead of me. But now they're like, nope, now we got to worry about Sexton.
No, it mixes
like,
it
I'm
up.
surprised they didn't mention that in their interviews. So, speaking of Chase Sexton, okay, I looked at the points. I swear he's 9 points back. Someone corrected me and said 11. Really? But I'm going to,
check that.
I'm going to fact check myself.
Yeah, I mean, biggest
Sexton stuff
I
here.
think the biggest note for Tomac would just be he's got the best starting average still, and the start of this track seems to be what he likes and what he's done well at. So.
It is 11 points. I'm great at math.
Oh goodness,
I'm good at
hard,
math,
dude. When you're working backwards,
it's hard.
And you're dealing with negatives.
But anyway, 11 points, 9 points.
Regardless, he's closing. He's closing
close
it up.
enough that you should be stressed about it.
It's not a comfortable gap. But okay, Sexton, 11 back on Coop, who is then and he's 17 back from Eli.
Yeah, 17's hard to make up, but 11 for Coop, that's not too bad.
Did you go through and confirm if was that the first race this year that Tomac and Webb, neither one of them were on the podium?
I could tell you.
Yeah,
I could just look the stat up real quick.
I have a hard time believing that that's going to happen again, that both of them finish off of it. But anyway,
we can find that out.
Yeah.
It would take me a second.
I don't know if it's really going to help people with their picks. It was just I was just curious.
And it's not just both of them off at the same round. It's like the fact that not one or the other wasn't on the podium.
Yeah.
Which is
it's crazy. Sexton has more podiums than Tomac and Webb, and he's probably he's absolutely the shocker out of anybody else.
I wonder what the bonus difference is for second versus third overall in the points championship for Sexton, because money has got to be a motivating factor, right?
Yeah.
I would be curious, like, what's the difference between second and third? And is that enough for Sexton to
especially with
ride a little bit more aggressive with Webb?
When was the last time Honda got one of these? We had that conversation a long time.
Dude, it was Carmichael.
Yeah. So
like
I bet you they're offering buco bucks for locking it in.
I don't know. All right.
But
anything else? I mean, he's led 107 laps to Webb. Here's why I think Sexton beats Webb for second. Is he's led 107 laps to Webb's 18. He's got more podiums than Webb.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like you can't take those stats and be like, oh, Webb, and he's qualifying. He's the fastest guy on the track. No one's going to argue that.
Every time.
I mean, last week, did he get the monkey off the back to where now he's just like mentally he's that, just that 1% better?
Yeah. The only other asterisk I can put on it was a speedway. If we go back to stadium racing.
Yeah, it was wire to wire.
I don't know. Sexton, without a doubt, like you said, he's the fastest guy.
Yeah.
So
okay. I mean, I hate to say it, but I would put my money on Chase Sexton to beat Webb in most of the races coming up.
Speaking of Webb, hasn't won since round 7, and he's gone 4-4. So he's been off the podium 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah, 2 weekends in a row, he's gone fourth.
He's
Dude, he hasn't led a lap since Daytona. That was 6 races ago.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm just like, it's not like he's right there, but I just don't have the he is more dependent on Chase Sexton or Eli Tomac making a mistake to either win this title or hold off Sexton than he is that he's just going to beat these two outright with speed.
For sure. I think that Tomac and Sexton have an edge on him as far as speed goes. I think Webb relies on a little bit of fiasco going on for him to lock it down.
Webb has speed, but hey,
he's got speed. I 9 times out of 10, if Sexton's in that 3rd place, maybe even 4th place position, and Webb's in 2nd or 1st, I see Sexton catching him.
Sexton's. I mean, dude, even Barsha. Mm-hmm. Barsha's beating Webb straight up right now, in just raw speed. So yeah. And that's if Webb gets a good start. If any one of these guys gets a poor start, it's going to be really tough to work your way up to the podium.
That is right.
Dude, are we learning our lesson with Barsha?
Yeah, he's
solid. I mean, look at this. Okay.
I can't wait to make picks. I'll just say that. But Barsha's probably my new 3rd place guy. He's got to be.
Dude, he hasn't finished worse than 4th since Daytona.
Mm-hmm. That record looks like that 2-3-3-4-2. So just 1/4 in that last 5 rounds, which is incredible. So yeah, he's consistently, for the most part, becoming a podium guy.
I feel like Barsha's a top 1 or 2 start from a win because look, that's really what's hurting him is he hasn't started better than 4th in a standard round this year. So he's starting in that around 5th. And then he's working up to 3rd, 2nd place.
Yeah, I'd put him to. I mean, that's looking better than Webb.
Him and Webb have pretty much the same average finish since Daytona.
Webb's looking more like a 4th place.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Sheesh.
As long as these dudes aren't making mistakes, I think Webb's.
Well, what do I do as a
Webb's are a 3rd or 4th place
30
speed
to 40 points down in fantasy? What do I do?
You don't pick. I don't know, dude. You get lucky like me and put Webb in 4th, and he does.
Yeah, so
do this, Kobe.
Yeah. How do I beat you?
I did not get lucky.
How do I beat you?
I made that prediction.
Roczen. I mean, did you have anything else with Barsha other than I think he should be
on your box?
At least, he should be on your box.
But it's
he
so
should
tough.
at least be in 3rd.
Because if you put him on your box, you leave either Sexton, Tomac, or Webb off.
And I think we've decided that this is the guy that you.
We've. Did I convince you? Or okay. I mean, I'm going to have Webb in 3rd this week.
Okay.
Not off my podium, but 3rd.
Okay.
Roczen has 9 top 5s this year. Hasn't finished in 2nd place yet. He's either won or been 4th or 5th or 3rd.
Of his 9 top 5s, he's been 5th or 4th 6 of those times. So
he's a 4th or 5th place solid
he's
guy.
Definitely he's not up there with the Tomac, Sexton, Webb train or Barsha. I think Barsha's got the edge on him every single weekend. So Roczen's biggest competitor to me is Anderson right now.
But Anderson just crashed last weekend, and Anderson, we'll get to him. His results have been dismal. Anderson has 1 podium this year. He won 7.
1 podium.
He went from winning 7 races, what is he hasn't been on the podium since round 5.
Has he been nervous about becoming a dad, and now he's a dad? And he's
but he's on the same motorcycle. Mm-hmm. Anybody chime in here? He's on the same motorcycle. And hasn't even he's won a couple heats in a Triple Crown race, but he hasn't even sniffed a win.
Somebody linked me tattoo cover-ups.
What's a
I
worst?
said that last time.
What's a worst? No, don't do that.
It's a joke. Team pride for life.
I mean, Webb, between him and Webb, you could argue they're having the same thing, right? Webb wins the title, but you still have to say that Webb was probably worse just for the fact that he did win the title.
Webb's was rough.
But Anderson's been rough too. Okay, yeah, I mean those are your solid dudes, right? Honestly, I mean you've got Tomac, Sexton, Webb, Barsha, Roczen.
Tommy Tenders broke his heart.
Yeah, maybe I mean what about Plessinger, dude? Where's AP been?
Oh, that's a good question.
After Detroit,
maybe he's just we'll get him next year, dude.
I mean, I don't even have him in your top 5 battle because I'm you're not doing anything that makes it worth.
like we don't really have anything on AP because our wild card is all the way back in 14th. I don't think AP will be that far back, but I don't put him in the top
AP's
5.
6th to 10th right now.
Yeah.
Like
unless he's qualifying crazy, which
he could rip a start and wouldn't surprise me if he finished in there, but it's not. There's nothing that I could say about AP that makes me feel good about picking him other than just like, I want to try and make up some points or something.
Do you want to even? There's not much to say about Anderson. There really isn't.
No, there's not. Like he crashed out last week. He doesn't have any podiums other than round 5. Like what are you going to say other than he's got the speed to do it? Of course he does.
Let's talk wild card.
Okay.
This is where, because it's tough, because this is where stats really come into play.
Levi, throw up the stats. While he's doing that, I'm going to flick on the AC.
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
It's hot in here.
If you got to go in and talk to.
No, I don't. But Chisholm, let's start with him.
Yeah, we don't have graphics, but we'll.
Our internet was down.
It was a struggle this morning.
It was a rough morning.
Out of our control. We couldn't even access our script. So
yeah, it was stressful.
We were wondering if the stream was even going to go live.
Had Marv calling in, and we couldn't get to our Excel sheet for the stats.
But anyway,
okay.
Chiz is the number 1 for our 14th that we're going to talk about. I don't know if he's my pick.
I wouldn't put him number 1, dude.
He's not. I don't think he's my pick, but he's definitely around there. Finished 14th in Atlanta, and he's finishing around 2 spots from where he qualifies. So if he's qualifying around that spot, I guess is what you take from that.
Well, his last 4 gate drops, he's kind of all over the place. He's gone 16, 18, 14, 10.
Yeah, all over.
So he's not very consistent where he's finishing, but McElrath,
average finish in the standard rounds is 15th.
Well, here's the deal.
Right there.
Average finish is around 15. His average start is just under 16. But here's the deal, though. He's finished within 2 spots of 14th 10 times this year, Triple Crown included.
That's a lot.
So within 2 spots. He's anywhere from 12th to 16th.
And his average start is closer to 16th, but 15.89.
But now that Craig is out, and
you move him up a spot.
Yeah, you can give him a spot there, possibly. Well, see, Craig was like 5th to 10th, so I don't know if you just give McElrath the spot, but
does their
case
really change that much? Bloss.
My pick is this guy.
This is your pick?
Yes.
Okay.
Look, his last 4 rounds, he's gone 13, 14, 15. He had a season career best of 11th, or not a career best, but this year. So look at that, dude. The last 3 rounds, 13, 14, 15. His average start and finish are both just over 15 in standard rounds. But then there's Freddie Noren.
For Noren, that's who I was waiting for.
Is that your pick?
I don't even know if we got a plate for Noren because he's kind of all over.
We haven't talked about him this year.
Noren, average start is 14.69. He's finished 14th through 16th in 5 of his last 7 gate drops. So that tells me, with all the injuries, with all the fluctuation in the field, most recently he's been consistently around that 14th to 16th spot. So if you're asking me, Bloss and Noren are probably...
They're going to duke it out.
I think that's the wild card.
You're going to have some people who probably think of like the Hill brothers as good options,
but they're above that for me.
Josh and Justin Hill. Justin's gone 10, 12, 10, 7, 9. And Josh Hill went 11, 15, 12, 10, 11. So they're both better.
They were tailing each other right behind the 9th place wild card last weekend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they're above that.
My question is, like, who are the 10th to 14th place guys? You got the Hill brothers.
Oh, yeah, who else is right in there?
Like, who's like that 12th, 11th, 12th guy?
That's a good question.
I mean, because Clayson and Moranz and all these guys are not even coming close to that. So that's where I was like, man, who's going to finish between Benny and the Hill brothers?
I just want to, just so that we can mention some of the
Dean
other
Wilson,
names.
but he's another 10th place guy.
He should be above that too.
He's better than 14th.
Yeah, I'm thinking Noren and Bloss, but some other names. No, we got him. That's the 10th to 14th place. That is Shane. Last weekend, starting at 12th was Shane, Bloss, Chisholm, and then Noren in 15th.
Okay.
And then after that, you got Moranz, and then you got Harlan.
So after the Hill Bros, you've got Bloss, Noren,
stuff,
Chisholm, those guys. Yep. Okay, so we nailed it.
So, yeah.
I feel good. So who are you going to pick, though?
I'm going with Noren. Freddie.
Okay.
Freddie. I am a little worried, though, because Freddie's had some LCQ drama through his career. He's got the short end of the stick many times.
Yeah.
When
Bloss
it comes to,
is just like a safer bet to make the main.
I
easy,
agree.
Right?
Bloss is a safer bet to make the main, but Noren, and mainly that was earlier in this year. The field was a lot more stacked. I think Noren's probably Let me check the past. I'm pretty sure he's been consistently making mains. I don't think that's a struggle anymore. There's enough injuries.
He's finished 14th to 16th. And he's made the last 7
been making
mains.
Them, so,
or 5 out of the last 7. So he's made plenty of the mains.
I think
9
times out of 10.
A little bit riskier than Bloss.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, I put Bloss ahead of Freddie. You agree?
That's the hard part, right? But Freddie's like a 15th to 20th place guy. Mm-hmm. It's Bloss, dude. It's Bloss for me.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Hey, Deegan it's the shootout.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wish.
Do we talk the Lawrences real quick?
Oh, we've already agreed. We've talked about this, but sure.
Are you a Hunter?
I'm a Hunter fan. Well, not just Hunter fan. They're both awesome. I'm glad to. It's just awesome to see the Hill brothers, Lawrence brothers, Wagemans. It's just awesome to see them have brothers out there competing at this level. Period. But I gotta go give the edge to Hunter. I think.
Okay.
Less mistakes made. He did get ejecto-citoed last weekend.
Almost, right?
Almost, but he had a nice save.
All right.
I mean, before that, when was the last time you saw Hunter even bobble? The kid's practically flawless. I say kid, he's a year younger than me.
Jet has had, his Triple Crowns have been his nemesis, but he
kind of
got
that out.
I don't know, man. It's whoever gets to start, it's going to be tough. I just hope they start 1-2, or they're both top 3, 4. Because that's really what everyone wants to see.
That's what everybody wants to see. But if I had to guess, I think one of them gets a good start and the other has to fight through the pack a little bit.
Does Hayden Deegan just hole shot and go balls to the wall to win this thing?
If he does, I think he's going to go OTB or something like that. He's a little
But
chaotic.
you got to think though, dude. If you want to win a race as a rookie, it's when you've got those
shootout. Yeah,
you
want to beat the talk of the talk. How about Kitchen though? Kitchen's in there too. I think time after time, the Lawrence brothers got him covered. Deegan's even got him covered.
It's just that Kitchen's only win was a Triple Crown. Mm. And ever since then, Jets just beat him straight up.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know what? If you're Levi Kitchen, you're probably you expect it almost. I don't think these guys are mad. When Jet Lawrence and Hunter Lawrence are beating you, I don't think these guys at this point are even getting mad. I almost just feel what am I supposed to do? This guy is just the best rider. He's not making the mistakes.
You have to
what am I supposed to do? No, I really do feel that way. Jordan Smith was talking about, it's what am I supposed to do? It's hard to beat this guy.
I mean, that's the case for a lot of, when you look back, people had to feel that way against RV.
It was Dungy and Tomac. It was Dungy and Villapoto. You're just
most of the time.
If I beat this guy, it'll be because things went my way.
Sure.
Not because I am just the fastest guy on the track.
But
so sometimes you just kind of accept it.
So, it really, 9 times out of 10 will come down to one of the Lawrence brothers. And I think Hunter has the edge for history as far as the shootouts go, right? He's won.
I believe Jet, he won the last one we did, but then in Salt Lake City, I think Jet won and Hunter got on the podium. Mm. So Jet got third. Remember, he passed McAdoo last lap to get on the podium.
But didn't we have one I think it was at Atlanta one year, and then
could have been. I do think Hunter's won 2 out of the 3 shootouts that they've been in together.
It's going to be fun to watch. It's not really relevant to fantasy, but man, it's going to be the 250s have been just so all year.
Well, it's because you got Jet and Hunter just running away.
I hope that I guess they're going to be moving on.
Next year, 250s will be great again.
But yes, exactly. But people will see, or Honda will see, this is what we should have been watching the entire time we've had these kids, these brothers. We should have just been pinning them against each other.
Just put them on the same coast. We don't need an East Coast
Exactly.
guy.
No.
That would be cool.
I'm voting for Hunter.
All right.
Other than that,
lock
them in. Let's go back to what's relevant with the picks.
Look, Monday show, we're going to knock out a lot of memes because we are running out of time here.
Oh, that's true. We're already an hour.
Keep the memes rolling for this weekend.
There were some fantastic ones.
There are. The link to the Discord is in the description. Go to the Discord, and that's where you submit the memes. That's where we have stats from Dr. JB. All the goods in there. We have the chat just popping off during race day, so go watch all that. That being said, Kobe, let's lock them in.
Okay.
Who do you have?
I'm going to put Tomac up front.
Okay, I need a reasoning. Long start straight?
I think the start. And I think Tomac's just going to he's going to step up, I think. Yes, his main concern is Webb, but he's not going to close his eyes to what Sexton did, and I think he knows better safe than sorry. I'm going to execute this weekend and not take it down to Salt Lake, and he's going to start to try and build a gap again. So, and the track should cater to him. So Tomac up front. I think Sexton's got the edge on everybody else behind them. I'm putting Barsha in third. I think I'm happy to conclude that Webb is more of a solid fourth place pick now. I've got Roxon as a better starter, more consistent guy than Anderson, and we don't have a plate for Noren, unfortunately.
But you are going with Noren? I thought you were going with Bloss, dude.
I'm going to go with Noren.
Okay.
There you have it.
All right.
I'm going to put Bloss up here for Chase's sake, but I'm going with Noren.
I like that. Okay. You ready for mine?
I am, and I'm going to submit mine into the website while you go for it.
That's what I'm literally doing as you were doing yours.
I feel good about him.
Here's my picks. I'm going to go Sexton, goes back-to-back. Did it. I think he's just the best guy. He's going to have the most mojo coming in. But I am going to go Tomac second. I'm going to go Barsha third. I'm going to go Webb fourth, and I'm going to go K-Rock fifth. So all I did was just swap first and second, but I am going to do Bloss for my wild card. No need to do a poll. Mine are better.
Yeah, but like we said, I got to switch up something. I have to make up points somewhere.
I just feel like in this scenario, Tomac is 17 points ahead of Sexton.
That he's not going to risk it for the biscuit?
He's not going to risk trying to chase down Sexton if he's in the lead because he's like, I have a buffer over you, but he needs to beat Webb. And I just don't think that Webb right now, speed-wise, like we're saying, is going to beat these three guys if they all start together. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Last weekend, the averages were low. Like, people didn't see that coming. And, I don't know, we can hop on to now that's the new norm fairly quickly, but
you remember what Jared Oldham said? It's like if you pick Tomac to win, it's like you didn't score any points.
If he wins,
that's where I'm at this weekend. I'm like, if Tomac wins, because most people are probably still going to pick him.
But I'm glad to see you not playing it safe, I guess, and switch it up. I got to make some moves elsewhere. So the producer, you won't even call. Which Chase has the better picks?
Do I have a split personality or something?
I guess so.
I don't know. Well, anyway,
such a good guy.
Such a good guy. But, hey, we want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in live. Remember, even if this is your first time ever watching this show, if you've never played fantasy before, you can log in right now to RMFantasysX.com. Make your free account.
Look at that poll.
Are you winning?
Dude.
The producer?
Well, I guess you got to account for you have two votes.
Let's go.
Who do you pick to win this weekend? He wants nothing to do with it. Dude, he's shaking his head over here.
You little mime.
Out of fear.
You can find my picks on RMFantasySX.com.
Wait, they can't actually see them, though.
That's too bad.
Can you riddle them off real quick? Come on.
Give us a winner.
Yeah. Who's winning?
I'm going to be risky. I think Sexton's got it. I'm going with Chase.
So you're agreeing with Chase?
Yeah.
Loser.
This is an air fist bump.
Loser.
All right.
Memes next week. We'll get back to them.
We'll rock them on Monday. But big again, thank you to Marvin Musquin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry to Aquatic for not being here, dude. You
win some, you lose some.
You do.
I guess sometimes he just loses all of them.
He lost it all today. Yeah. But anyway, comment after this show. Let us know what you thought. And we love to just go look back at the comments and see what you guys are thinking for this weekend. So had a great time. Grand prizes. We're getting down to the wire here. We got dirt bikes to give away.
I just want to shout out the leaders real quick while we're in there.
Okay.
Because, dude, that's exciting. Can you imagine watching Supercross this late in the season and be one of the people that's in the running? So Kamikaze in first, Noid 478 in second, Ryan's wife in third, and the leader with 870. Insane.
It's just insane. That's just showboating.
Yeah. Like 240 points more than what I have. So
yeah, that's tough to do.
Yeah, I'm just going to go.
Well, look at this. 70. What's our 10th place is 829. So there's a 39-point gap. Sorry, 41. 41-point gap. Man, math is hard.
It's difficult.
But anyway, hey, look, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in live. We had an absolute blast. Remember, tune in right back here on Monday for our recap. And I am hoping that we are going to have a tightened up points chase.
Same.
See
you guys.
All right. See you then.